and launch the PowerPoint. So let's see, what did that say? All right, we are recording. Let me just double check. It says it's recording. I don't see anything going wrong here. I'm going to try pausing it and then starting it again just to make sure. So, okay, we're recording. So no curse words, nobody do anything that you shouldn't. And I'm going to bring up my PowerPoint because I can't stay on task if I don't. And just scroll down here. There it is. And I want to launch that here. And you guys can all see that, I think, can't you? How's it working? Everybody see that?
Yeah, looks good.
Cool. Okay, so there's the link and all that stuff. And okay, so of course, the course is Designing E-Learning, 8 weeks, so we're going to be going pretty fast. I tried to make the 4th of July week just one activity, so it should be, you can get that done ahead of time or do it really, it won't be as much. We're using Horton, so if you don't have the textbook, be sure to get it because we're going to read the whole thing, believe it or not. It may not seem possible, but there's a lot of stuff in there that's got a lot of practical advice. I've been trying to get him to revise it, but he just is resistant. I don't know why, but I'm going to keep hammering him to get him to get to that 2017 version. We do use Google Drive quite a bit. I tried to switch us over to Box this year, this term, but it didn't work very well in terms of sharing and stuff. So we're going to stay in Google Drive. If you haven't used Google Drive very much, we're going to use it a lot. So if you don't learn anything else in this course, you will get really comfortable with using Google Drive, especially the way we're using it for discussions. Q, what do you say? Had you used Google Drive before? We used it for discussion in 415. Did you like that?
Yeah, it's pretty good, and everybody can input, real time, and it will make the edits, like I said, real time, and you can see immediate background. You can share your thought immediately with whoever is typing. So it's pretty good.
And then we are using, of course, Canvas. So hopefully the Canvas website opened up today or yesterday or the day before. So has anyone seen it? It is up, right? You are, because you see different things that I do.
Yes.
Yeah, you saw it. Okay, good. And then we have something called a Canvas Sandbox. And what that is it's a Canvas site where you have full privileges to edit. And so don't delete anybody else's folder. And you can create a folder, which they call a module. And in the module, it can be an infinite universe in there. So you can make your module as big as you want, just, whatever you want to do. So don't feel like you're going to run out of space. And also we use Yammer quite a bit in the course. It's my way of touching base with you every morning. I always try to get up in the morning and get a cup of coffee and go into Yammer and hit the different groups that are either the ones I'm teaching or the ones that I just follow, just sort of a social network thing. So if you have any stuff to share or anything, that's just sort of an idea there. This course is about designing e-learning and course management systems, okay? And it's also about open education resources. And so we're going to take advantage of us as being a group to go find open education resources and educate ourselves about what's available to all of us. So this is a design course and an enrichment course in terms of both within the LMS as well as going beyond the LMS. See if I can click here. So I did want to make a point that most of the tools we're using will run in an iPad or probably on your iPhone or on your smartphone too. This is what the Canvas website looks like on my iPad. I just snapped this picture yesterday. One thing you'll notice on the left-hand side is modules. So when you get into Canvas, if you're not used to Canvas, modules are basically where the lessons are. So if you don't know what to do, go there. You can see that I've created links for Google Drive, for our Yammer group, for VoiceThread. These are tools we'll be using. We even have a course blog, which we only use one time. I don't care much for blogs, but we got to do it one time just in case you like it. And then over on the right-hand side, you can see all the lessons that we're having: Offense Playground, Design for Virtual, lesson plans, social learning, two times on that, Absorb, Do, Connect, designing online assessments. So we have assessments, games and simulations, and mobile learning. You probably saw those already. This is the same thing. It's a website, but viewing it in a browser. And a few things over here I want to point out. Those arrows are showing you, again, you can see the syllabus. Modules, if you don't know what you're looking at, click on the modules tab and you'll see what you're looking for then. And then of course there's a Yammer group and our Zoom meeting room, which is where we are now, but I'll probably send you a link every time. VoiceThread, Yammer, and so on. I don't see anything else here to talk about unless you do. It's pretty straightforward. Yours may look a little different than mine. Oh, if you're not sure how to control your dashboard, if you click on the courses tab on the far left, then the courses will show all of your courses, and they have a little whited out star. If you click the star, it will make it solid. Any solid star appears on your dashboard, so you can control the courses that you see on your dashboard by going into courses and putting, fleshing out the star for the ones you want to see, and then unstarring them for the ones you don't want to see, so you can customize your dashboard every time. This is our sandbox. So the first one was our actual CMS course canvas, and this is the sandbox. And notice that modules is in a different place on this one. Their modules are so important that they're starting to move it up, but they haven't done that for all of them. So they just did that for us for that one. And I created a YouTube video, the very first activity, how to add a module. So if you haven't used Canvas before, it's a pretty short video. You can watch that. If you don't get it, watch it again. And it shows you, it's pretty easy. You just basically click add a module and give it a name, and that's pretty much it. But anyway, so I thought it was fun to create the video and put it into the website. And you can see that Jennifer and Justin have already created folders. So you get the idea that you'll have a folder down here. And also, we have a discussion in lesson 4 on webinars. So this is where we'll have the discussion, is in the sandbox under this tab. So anything else on here on the sandbox? I don't see anything. Google Drive. Okay, so here's what our Google Drive looks like. The name of the folder is LDT 832 Summer 2017. Inside of it, I was getting too many files in there, so I put something called a folder called Module 1 and 2. So you see that popped out here. 2.1 and 2.2 and 2.3, they're the first readings, and then 3 and then 4. 3A, 3B, and 4. So those are just various readings that we're doing this week and next week. I think that Q signed up for, Q, was it 2.2 open for learning? I can't remember. And then Kelsey signed up for, I can't remember.
Yeah, I got the open for learning.
Okay, and then Kelsey got LMS, the wrong place to start. So those discussions are open already, and we'll do them this week, and this is where they are. You can go right to them, or you can go into our folder, go into the module folder and click on them, and you should be able to have access already, so you can just start typing. You can see that we have our Gmail addresses here. I'm going to have to move this file off of Google Drive into our box folder to make it safe. When I do that, I will make an email. Remember that the university is hypersensitive about information about whether you were in a course or not, because people are allowed to protect their identity in case they're in witness protection or for whatever, they're on SEAL Team 6 or whatever the reason is. So if you're in Google Drive, you need to be using an anonymous name, because even though I'm locking it down so that only we can see it, we don't trust it. We don't trust anything online. In fact, there is nothing safe online. So if you have an online presence, you are going to finally be cracked into, and they're going to see it, okay? So just keep that in mind. Some of the other papers that we'll be doing later here, like our Blue Sky Vision and stuff, and the Canvas website always will point you here if this is where you're supposed to go. I sort of have this mentality of giving you the train ticket right when you're getting on board. Okay, I think I got that from Corey Ten Boom. The idea is that the Canvas will tell you what you need to do in the week you need to do it. So if you just pay attention to the Canvas website, you'll be right on target all of the time. Here's our Yammer group. It's called 832 CMS Designs. And I think I've enrolled everybody, but if you try to go in and can't get in, let me know and I'll add you. Here are a couple of other groups that I belong to on the left. This is enterprise level Penn State only people here, okay? So when you leave Penn State, you won't have access to this Yammer anymore. But if you're in an organization that could benefit from what you can get with a network like this, an internal Yammer network like this, you could think about bringing Yammer to your organization. So for instance, I follow the Canvas group, which has all kinds of tips and helps of people talking about things going on with Canvas. I'm in Angel Development Happenings. Well, that's gone now. as of December. I'm in the VoiceThread Advocates. I'm in a couple of other groups you can't see that help me to keep up to date. But the main thing these groups do is let me ask a question. Like, how does this work? Why does this not let me do something? And I'll almost always get an answer right back from somebody. And then sometimes I'll answer questions too. What we'll use it for, our closed group, actually, I think there are some people from other classes in here too. We will, from alumni, we will just ask questions about the course. Stop me at any point. So here's our assignments. There's an intro video that's due June 18th, so that's in about a week. It's in VoiceThread. It's all set up. All you have to do is go into the intro video, go to about screen 3 or 4, click the record button, and say who you are, where you're going, all the philosophical questions of life, what turns you on, those sorts of things in a nice way. And that way, the idea is that we can get to know each other better, the kinds of things we would do if we were in class. Like we already found out tonight that we have someone in Jamaica, we have someone in Eastern Pennsylvania, we have someone in State College. Let's see, I'm trying to think who all else is at a distance, but that Jamaican one is sticking in my mind. There are ongoing things, the course topic discussion moderation. That's something that you'll sign up for one time and do, and we'll talk more about that in a second. Participating, that's just going in the discussion and replying. Adding to the community resource list, that's the open education resources list that we'll keep up with. And then sign up one time to go onto Yammer and talk about one that you like. That's what the community resource list weekly report is. And it can be more than one person doing it out a week. So the idea is I'm trying to use the resources to drive you to use Yammer at least once in case you're not using Yammer. The CMS paper is due June 25th. Let me talk about the 4 papers real quick. There are 4 papers. All the papers are 2-page double spaced. So I'm trying to force you to write briefly, okay? So even though it's due in about 2 weeks, it's only 2 pages. And what it does, the CMS paper, it's going to end up summarizing the things we've talked about in the last 2 weeks. And so we'll read more about it on the course assignment topic later, but that's what all these 4 papers are. There's a social networking paper that's a part A and a part B. Part A is nothing more than saying what social network you're going to join. I've had people that were in a runner's network. I've had people that were in a Bible study network. I've had people be on Google on the teacher and technology group. You can be on an internal group at Penn State. But what the social networking paper is, I'm asking you to join a social network for about 3 or 4 weeks and either lurk or participate there and see what it's good for, either being active or passive. And then at the end of the time, you write again a 2-page paper, double-spaced, about your experience there. How could you use it? What did you see, and how could you use it in your organization? One proper answer is, I can't use it. That's an acceptable answer. I saw these things happening. It just doesn't do anything for me. But another answer might be, wow, I really got excited about the way that these guys are, doing their aerobic exercises. So I'm going to improve my life by becoming an active member of that group, or whatever, social, personal, or professional.
Dr. Do you require a title page also on that paper, or just the 2 pages with our observation for that, for whatever activity?
No, just nothing fancy, no summary or anything like that. These are just almost like very simple formatting, just the what it is and your name, and then just the 2 pages. Now you can use headings and stuff if you want to.
Okay, yeah, because I saw that in your in something previous, you mentioned something like APA format and all that.
Yep. No, I'm not even going to look at APA format. This course isn't about that. If you know it, that's wonderful, and I'll say, wow, that's great. But this course isn't about that. So I'm just going to let that slide. However you want to do it is fine.
Okay.
Let's see, CMS lesson prep. That's real easy too. July 16th. All you've got to do then is tell me what you're going to do. What is your lesson going to be? The lesson is something that you will do either in Canvas in the sandbox or on your own LMS if you have your own LMS in your professional organization. The only catch is if you use your own, you need to be able to allow us to get in as guests to see it, because part of this is a peer review. So I've got to get in to look at it to give you points, and your peers have to get in to give you a suggestion. So it's okay to use your own LMS if you want to. Wait, what does this say? Okay, there. It's up. We're not past 40 minutes, are we? How are we doing time-wise? I may need to stop and record again. I don't have a timer in front of me.
Remaining time is 6 minutes, 56 seconds.
Okay, I gotta go real fast then. Okay. Blue sky paper. Okay, CMS lesson. Well, you can read more about it in the activity sheet. It's just pretty much what I'm saying. But the CMS lesson, I don't have high expectations for the CMS lesson. Basically, it can be something that's just maybe 5 or 10 minutes worth of lessons, but it should have some sort of content, some sort of practice activity, or some sort of activity or interaction, maybe a social network piece in it or something, and then some sort of assessment. Because my idea is if you can do something small, you can just do that over and over and make something big, okay? If you have something specific to do that's real, it's okay to do that too. For your professional setting, if you're doing something, that's okay to do it for class. Social networking paper, so that's just what I was talking about. Peer reviews, that's something we do at the end, is you go out and look at 4 other people's lesson project and give them advice. Pretty straightforward. Okay, did it click? Moderated discussion. Okay, so you sign up for the discussion. Most of you have done that already. You prepare it, you send it, you do it to us however you want to. You can do it in Google Docs, you can do it in Yammer, Zoom, VoiceThread. Some of you are doing discussions that have already been prepared by me. So do the one I set up for you. I will tell you in the email I send you, hey, I've already set it up, use this one. But some of you will be doing it from scratch. All you're going to know is what your topic is. So you can decide how you want to do it with us. You can use anything you want to. So you send us directions, you prepare it, send us directions on how to access it, moderate the discussion, and then at the end, send a takeaway to us that has the most important points, like the 3 most important things, you know, that came out of the discussion, so that we'll say, oh yeah, that's right. All right, so here's the assignments again, the end of lesson, but also I gave you the dates. Remember what Blaise Pascal said long ago, I have only made this letter longer because I have not had the time to make it shorter. And of course, Winston Churchill said pretty much the same thing. And so that's why all these are 2-page papers. I'm forcing you to get all these down to a bite-sized chunk that we can all read and understand and enjoy. So you're initiating and moderating a discussion based on the one you sign up for. You're going to design a lesson, very, very simple lesson, okay? You're going to peer review other people's lessons. And what about lateness? I'm not a stickler for dates, but if you fall behind a whole lot, you sort of miss part of the point. You know, if you don't do the discussion when everybody else is, then you're looking at the discussion afterwards. So I'm really lenient about all this stuff, but it's for you to learn. You know, it's not about the bloody points. It's like, take something away from the class, you know, it's your class. You can see this document online since I only have 2 minutes left, but you can see week 1. Do you see anything here that you want me to talk about? It's, you know, there's the next week is going to be kicked behind because there's going to be 4 discussions going on at the same time. Okay. It will ease off a little bit, but you got to get your heart ready for next week because you're going to be juggling. And I do this on purpose. It's because if you are teaching like a cyber school student who's taking 5 subjects, they may be having 5 discussions during the week. So now you're going to see what it feels like to be a cyber school high school student where you've got different subjects and you got to keep up with all of them with 4 different discussions running.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, it'll kick you. It'll kick you behind there. Just keep up with it. Just get your heart ready to do it, and you can do it. Here's week 4 through 8. 4th of July, just 1 chapter basically. I don't see anything else here that really jumps. All of these deadlines and things, I sent you this PowerPoint so you can, you know, have this to look at. All these dates and everything, it should all be redundant. I make sure I do everything redundantly. I have a weekly ritual. So we do the readings and assignments, get into the collaborative activity, go to Yammer occasionally, look for resources and put them into the community resource list, and go out to that social network that you've picked and spend time with them. So just do that over and over again, and then you're done. I sort of see it as bouncing between theory and practice, reading some on our website about, you know, why we're doing it, and then going out and doing it, and then reporting back, and then getting advice from each other. And you can see that the different tasks are coming out at the end of various lessons. A lot of stuff due at the end, but most of that's 2-page paper, so they're pretty easy to do. That's it. So I think we made it within the time limits of the video. So let me stop the share, come back, and looks like the recording's still going, so we're happy. Questions, comments? You feel overwhelmed? Not too late to drop. I'm going to teach it again in the fall in 16 weeks. So some of the discussions are shorter. I think Kelsey's is like 4 pages now, and some of them are longer. I think that Q's is probably like 15 pages, you know, so there you go. They're just different. It's the luck of the draw, you know, whether you got a long one or a short one.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Can you go over one more time over the joining the social network?
Yeah, Q, think of any social network that you might want to participate in. And what you can do is go out on Google and search for social networks, but or it could be like one of our Yammer groups at Penn State. Are there any at Fort Bliss? Are there any of the sergeants majors groups? Are there anything like that where soldiers talk to other soldiers? And, you know, I heard about this, by the way, in the Iraq War. Back when we were still actively involved there, is that there was a social network there of the individuals, and it was probably against the rules in the Army. They were talking to each other, and they were saying, I just saw this new ID, and they did it this way. And so, man, they were hitting that network all the time, trying to get ahead of what they were doing in the field so that they could prepare themselves when they were going out on, you know, driving around the countryside, whatever that's called. So, you know, it's like that might be happening with your organization, where there's groups that you would, other sergeant majors maybe all around the world who are talking about, oh, this new thing came out and they're making us do this. Oh, God, what are you going to do? And then you can say, well, you just hear and say, oh, my God, I didn't realize this was so important. I better listen to what's going on. But it doesn't have to be professional. If you have a hobby, like if you sail or you fly a plane or you know, you collect stamps, there's probably a social network